Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yeah, it's tu Mateo. Mateo Diazabal. I don't know, my Spanish is pretty terrible, but just trying to flex my skills. Oh yeah. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazabal coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for finding me. Thanks for coming on by. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm going through my reviews. If you've been watching recently, quite quickly because I'm playing catch up before the end of the year, so I can get as many reviews out by the end of the year because I'm trying to make this a full-time job. So here we go. Today I am checking out the latest release from an artist called Rosalía with her newest album called Lux. Now, if you have kept up with my channel, you will know that I have reviewed her stuff before. She's probably one of the first, probably maybe top 5 first reviews I did back in 2023 when I started this channel. So it's really cool to keep up with artists that I've always checked out and everything, and keep up and see where they're going. But if you don't know who Rosalía is, she is a Barcelona, Spain native. She is born and raised outside of the city of Barcelona. She first emerged into the scene. Well, she first immersed herself in music with flamenco style traditional music, blending modern production with her traditional Spanish cultural background. And that created a very unique and I guess you could say a distinctive style for her, with her breakthrough albums with Los Angeles, as people have called it, a genre redefining masterpiece, and El Mal Querer, where she established a more bold and innovative take on herself and everything. But like I said, the first time I ever reviewed her was with her album Motomami, and I thought that album was, a very interesting and very quirky kind of album, even though if it did have some, I could say some songs on there that were a little bit too gimmicky, but I could tell she had potential, talent, and she was a very good singer. That was one thing I've always noticed. Her vocal chops are amazing. She can hit some really good notes. So I'm really excited to talk about this new album, Lux, because it definitely feels like an evolution from what I previously heard from her. It's a little bit more, I guess you could say, theatric and a little bit grander in scale. So with all that being said, sorry for all these mistakes. I'm trying to get through this in one take. The album opens up with a swelling sense of anxiety with the song Sexio Valencia Lanteas. Sorry if my Spanish sucks. I should know better. I'm from Texas. I know it's terrible, but we're going through where it starts off with like a frantic piano and string section that collapses into a very beautiful, very sense of commanding vocals from Rosalia herself. Then this elegance gets pushed even further with the song Relinquia and Devising. Oh man, my Spanish is terrible right now. Both of these songs are very rich and have very delicate synths, trembling keys, and vocals that just sound like they're fighting back tears and everything. They're very emotional, yet maintaining a sense of perfect control. Rosalia really leans into a heavy restraint with this album and these songs, letting the classical arrangements and the airy production define her emotional landscape. That is something that is a big change here compared to Motomami, which had like that modern, you could say production of like 2020s, high energy, somewhat hyper pop feel to it. While this whole album, it's like kind of switches all that out for more classical instruments, violins, pianos, cellos. I think there's some harps in here as well. It's a very, very throwback album to old classical music, which, it's called classic for a reason. Never really goes out of style. She expands on this palette with the song Porcelina. A dramatic storm of violins, horns, and theatrical tension is met here. Even when there's a feature, well, I'll say here, there's a feature here that feels slightly out of place. But regardless, her vision really dominates, even when a feature doesn't really, I guess you could say, uh, make the song better in any way. She's still like holding it down on her own. Then you get this really big opera explosion with the song Mi Cristo Piengue Dimentia. Sorry, again, Spanish terrible. It's a massive swelling piece that feels like you're entering a cathedral made of sound. It's immense. It's amazing. That same grandeur feels the song Brigehin, where fast violins and a booming chorus that meets Bjork of all people. I was caught off guard when I heard, I was like, this sounds like Bjork. And I looked at the listing. I was like, oh, that is Bjork. She perfectly just matches the energy and the presence of the song, creating one of the most powerful moments on the album for sure. But the album also is filled with a lot of warmth. Le Perla brings out some soft guitars and breezy sun-soaked kind of textures. Menudo Nuevo uses horns and triumphant melodies to conjure the rise of like a hero amongst this like uh, very cathartic and classical album. She returns to her like flamenco like origin with the song Madrogo. Y'all are gonna chop me up for my Spanish in this video, with a lot of clapping and acoustic guitars and a very deep emotional vocal presence here. Even some of her sultry, more funky style songs on Dios es un stalker feels uniquely hers in terms of being very sexy and melancholy at the same time. She can merge this world of sexiness and sadness in a very cool way that feels very Rosalía. Then you have tracks like La Yogula, play with a contrast between, playing between delicate plucks and, very bold vocal surges. While, oh man, these Spanish titles are getting me. Sugavin Blanc floats in an airy, empty sadness carried by some soft piano work. Then you have La Rumba del Perdón. Woo, it blends clapping, cellos, and Latin guitars into something that is very haunting and very theatrical and kind of dreamy at the same time. And also you have this song Memoria, which also has a very dreamy feel to it. And it feels like a fragile memory that's just trying to hold on as it just fades away. And then the closing track, Magnolias, ends the album on a very emotional high note with very sorrow like feelings giving way to like a feeling of freedom and just being able to escape. It's a very, very good ending. And so altogether, Lux feels like a very cohesive, very grand, yet very intimate, uh, like very meticulous crafted piece of work here. Less chaotic than Motomami, but richer in instrumentation, emotion, and vision. I feel like she has really gotten herself together to really put something out here that is kind of special. And she proves that she's just not just redefining genres, she's building her own style. And that just summarizes her very well. Everything she's putting out is very her own. It's really hard to copy what she's doing. So at the end of the day, it's a stunning evolution. And I gotta say, it is a well earned like rating from my end. I was thoroughly impressed with this album. It flows really nicely, has a large feel to it, and I gotta say, Rosalía, Lux, it's a good and solid 8.5 out of 10. Oh yeah, links down below. Tell me what your favorite track is off this album, what your favorite song is from Rosalía, favorite album, and some other rising Spanish European artists that I should check out. But yeah, again, sorry if my review is a little bit all over the place, a little bit stumbling, a little bit too fast. Like I said, trying to get through all these reviews. If you want a more fleshed out and a version in Spanish, I'll have that on my Instagram and my website, Diazable Reviews and Diazable.com. So till next time, guys, see you in the pit.